Well, here's a young rail fan at the station inn, Mr. Kean. Let me come over here and have a little chit-chat. We got a train going by outside. Not that we can see. If you look real close, you might see one. Where are you from, Kean?
I'm from Middletown, New York, a little bit northwest of New York City.
How many times have you been to the station inn? I think this is your second time, correct?
Yep, this is my second time, and hopefully we'll be here many more times.
Well, folks, we got a young rail fan here, and we're gonna nurture this babe. What's your favorite thing that you like about the place?
There's first of all tons and tons of trains compared to where I live. It's nice, it's quiet, it's relaxing, and it's a good place to come.
How many trains and what kind of trains do you see up in New York? They're pretty much passenger trains, right?
There is one freight line, CSX by the Hudson River, but it's a single track and it's really slow lately because of the economy. So sometimes you see a train, or sometimes you spend hours and you see nothing up there. But yeah, there's always the passenger trains to help out with your train watching.
It's Tuesday, April 13th, and we've seen, it's now about 10 o'clock. What time is it now? Oh my gosh, it's about 10:30 at night. We've seen since 7 o'clock this morning. But how many trains do you think?
Probably maybe 50 or 60 trains. There's a lot of them that go by. Some days are quiet, some aren't.
The best shot you got today that you said, wow, wait till you see this? Talk to me about that.
There was a helper set dragging a Federal Railroad inspection car going about 44 miles an hour up the track.
So it probably wasn't inspecting going that fast, we don't think.
Well,
we don't know.
No, we don't know, but I wouldn't think so. It was probably being taken somewhere.
It has been a real pleasure meeting a young rail fan of Kean's personality, and he is a smart dude, and he knows this computer far better than I. And after seeing the camera that we're now looking this on, he has decided to upgrade high def also in the near future. And what's your thinking on going high def? And high def is here after seeing YouTube and everybody else is going high def. And talk to me about some cameras for a couple seconds.
I have a camera now. It's a still camera, but it also records digital, but it records in a lower end of high definition, and it's not the best.
It looks pretty good, folks.
It does. I have a bunch of them on my YouTube channel. Kean Rules 25, KEANERULZ 25. There's a bunch of them on there, so you can check those out. And I'll eventually be upgrading to a JVC camera, which should be much better than what I've got now.
And how many times have we talked about that dreaded tripod?
Yeah, it's important to have a really good tripod, because if you have a bad one, you're never going to use it, and when you do use it, it's going to fly up and down. So if you have the money, it's good to invest in a good tripod.
He and I can attest to his exact statement. Bad tripods are never used, and even though they're bad, you should still try to use them, but good tripods are your best friend. So you're now planning on coming back this summer and again in the fall. My favorite time to come to the inn is the off season, just like we're here today in April, and you're planning on coming back during the Thanksgiving break. The trains are exactly the same, and we're in a down economy now a little bit. There's only, we're down to 50 or 60 trains a day. Normally it's 75, sometimes 80 trains in a 24-hour period. If anybody has not been to the station inn, Kean and I can highly recommend. You don't know what you're missing. It's like returning, for me, an old guy, compared to Kean being a young guy. To me, this is like coming back and I'm 15 years old again. And Kean can sit here and listen to us old timers and listen to Tom Davis, the owner of the station inn, and really get an education.
That was your sign.
Last but not least, you see before us, we have the scanner turned on. The main thing any rail fan needs at the station inn or anywhere is a scanner. because every 5 miles, Norfolk Southern, and pretty much all the railroads throughout America, have detectors along the track that every time a train goes by, pretty much every 5 miles, a detector checks for bad bearings or hot bearings or something that may have fallen off the train and is dragging. And an automated voice can report that the detector has found something dragging by or detected a hot bearing. So if Ken will hold that scanner up, it's a very important tool when you're rail fanning, and we all know that, but for all you young guys out there, it's the most important tool to have, because also you know that a train is coming and you can start getting your camera ready, or possibly you don't want to wait for the train to be visible as it comes around the corner. You want to have the camera recording 5 seconds, 10 seconds before it comes around the corner, so you catch the lights from the very get-go. Don't you agree?
Yeah. Well, the best thing with the scanner is being able to know when the trains are coming. Sitting here, you hear a detector about 2 miles down the track, so you always know when there's an eastbound train coming. Westbound's a little harder to detect. Sometimes.
Let's try and look at the camera. Keep going. Sorry.
Sometimes the westbound trains will tell that they're moving west or they're doing this or that, but most of the time they just pop out of nowhere and you really don't get a chance to catch them unless you're already outside and ready.
Which means if I'm looking out the window now, I see a light, we got less than 3 seconds to get outside, which you're not going to get. The eastbound trains coming from this direction over this way, the detector is down there, as Kean just said, 2 or 3 miles down the track, and it's milepost 253 or 8?
3.1.
253.1.
And then there's another one down the track, 258.9.
258.9. This Mr. Kean guy, he knows his stuff, folks. We're about to sign off. I'm going to give Kean the last chance to say something. Talk to me about love of trains and how you got involved in them, because you lived close to them, or your dad or something was involved, or just whatever.
My dad grew up around the railroad. My grandpa worked for the railroad. My dad's dad worked for the railroad, and some of my grandfathers worked for the railroad. So I guess it's in the family, but
You guess.
Well, yeah, it is.
I didn't know any of that. I'm impressed. Go ahead. Sorry.
So my dad always liked trains, and then he got me interested in trains. I have a model railroad at home. We're always driving around trying to find a new spot, but around home there's really no good freight line for us to watch. So the best place is to come out here and watch.
How'd you hear about the station in?
Really don't know. I think I either saw something to do with it on TV, or I just stumbled across it on the internet, or maybe it was in Trains magazine.
Well, it's been a pleasure meeting a young rail fan. Say goodbye, and you guys got to get to the station inn, and here comes another one. See ya. We're heading outside to catch it. Let's go.